Okay, this little thing is called the Spirit of Pike Mountain. It's older than dirt. I don't even remember where I published it at. And I will say that most people heard the expression that poetry is meant to be heard. Well, that's very true. Fiction, I'm not so sure if it's meant to be heard out loud. But I'm going to read this thing. Okay? And we have some poets here. It's going to read some poetry, and you'll see the difference. Okay. Cletus Gibbons, an ox of a man, and hairy like a bear, credited his mighty physique to the cutting down of trees to build his home, barn, chicken coop, wood for his fireplace, and to his father and his father's father. Dark of mind, he prayed to chickens. And he prayed to chickens through her, the wraith-like woman at the top of Pike Mountain. Perhaps soon she might journey down the mountain for him. Cletus prayed mightily. Sometimes on overly warm nights, Cletus slept in the chicken coop with his chickens. The stench and his familiarity to the smell of chickens and chicken shed did not bother him enough to interfere with the gentle cooing of his friends helping him sleep. Cletus rarely slept well, sometimes not for days, and when he did sleep, he dreamed of foxes. He rarely wore clothing, finding it necessary only when in the company of humans. Yesterday, while hunting for ginseng to trade for flour and other commodities in Harlan, Cletus came across a black walnut tree with a wide circular hole at the same level of his head. Understanding this as a sign, he put his ear to the hole, hoping to hear from her, and much to his delight he did. And the voice said, "In 10 days' time, slaughter 216 chickens. Be certain to wear their blood and feathers and entrails and nothing else. The God of chickens favors you. Come back tomorrow at noon." As Cletus owned more than 1,000 chickens, this did not seem overly demanding. He ate mostly chicken and fried eggs anyway, only occasionally supplementing his diet with bread or wild field garlic, mushrooms, and quickweed. The weather was turning, so a lot of the dead chickens could be stored in the creek or taken into town for sale. This night, sleeping with the chickens, he dreamed of her ethereal figure as she began her journey down Pike Mountain. Cletus awoke, covered with chicken droppings, feathers stuck to the droppings. I'll finish that last sentence. Normally he would amble to the creek to wash off, but he expected her to pay him a visit this evening. He enjoyed the cold water of the creek and the bitter breeze drying him, keeping his wits sharp. The sky cloudy, dark shapes moving briskly with the strong wind. Cletus considered a friend. He loved counting chicken-shaped clouds. Checking his traps, he found a tabby, and jumped for joy. As much as she enjoyed chicken, an occasional cat made a special breakfast. Taking control of the cat and walking over to the huge tree stump he used as a chopping block, a rush of excitement overcoming him, causing another. Using his hatchet, thick with yesterday's blood and stench, he chopped the cat's head off. In no time at all, he butchered the cat, skewered it over a pit for roasting, and enjoyed his breakfast. He wiped cat grease onto his chest, arms, and genitals to help protect against bug bites. Looking up to the sky to check the sun's position, he decided it was time to return to the tree. This time, Cletus poked his entire head into the hole of the black walnut, and he heard, As the time for my appearance approaches, you must prepare a special meal and tribute. Cletus, removing his head from the tree, turned and headed south to the secret cave. Removing the brambles from the cave's entrance, he walked in. The temperature was colder than even outside the cave. Moving in the darkness, he come across the male corpses hanging on meat hooks. Lifting the medius corpse from a hook, Cyrus Sullivan, a wealthy landowner from Breathitt County, he retraced his steps back out of the cave. He laid the corpse next to the chopping block, not bothering to look around for anyone that might be looking on because no one ever did. Then he prepared to work on the chickens. First he started a fire in a large pit made for butchering chickens. He carried a metal pot and set it down into the fire, but only so far as the flames from the fire reached only halfway up the sides. Then he filled the pot with water from the creek. Soon enough, the water boiled. After around the 20th chicken, their screams began to fill the air. He paused after every 10 chickens, pulling their bodies from the boiling water and removing their feathers. After removing the feathers, he gutted them, allowing their offal to pile high. After 108 chickens, he broke a sweat. After 54 more chickens, his back began to hurt. After 215 chickens, his hand slipped in the blood and he chopped off the pinky finger of his left hand. He picked it up and swallowed it. Cyrus Sullivan took no time at all since he lacked feathers. Cletus's remaining chickens stopped screaming, their music becoming a calming clucking. The approaching twilight, the buzz of flies, a slight breeze rustling the tree leaves, and a stirring in the bushes alerted Cletus to her arrival. Big Mary, a dermestid beetle, known as a skin beetle to the locals and used in its regular form to clean the skulls of deer and other kills, presented her corpus to Cletus, 25 feet long and as thick as the prize hog at last month's Harlan County Fair. Cletus observed her surveying the hill of butchered chickens, the 4-foot tower of chicken offal, and the blood dripping from his finger. Cletus heard in his mind, "I'm going to miss old Cletus, but that stump on his hand makes me queasy, and it's so Flannery O'Connor." And Cletus saw, this ghostly dream woman aiming her left mandible and sending him a blow toward the spot between his eyes, and his final thoughts, halfway to bullseye, also Big Mary's. "I must get started on the chicken. There are bones to clean." That's a flash fiction story.
Sorry, what was the name of the story again?
The Spirit of Pike Mountain. There were some things I left out. We have some young folks. It's mostly horrors for grown-ups, but there are people out there who write young adult horror. And one of them, a friend of mine, R.J. Sullivan, he's become fairly successful with young adult novels. And my favorite horror writer, Michael Connolly, or John Connolly. Yes, John Connolly. He has a series of young adult horror novels too. But it's nice to have young adult horror too, so that when they grow up, they can read the big people horror. Okay. Who wants to come up and